Oh dear, dear, dear. Oh, now you've caught me. I've got a to-do list, and on my to-do list has been sorting out my shoes. Well, I've got my bag of shoes, and here they are, and you know, they're so different, these shoes. I've got my shoes that I use when I'm going somewhere very special. Very sparkly shoes. I've got a pair of flip-flops that I use when I'm on the beach or somewhere very nice. Or my pair of fluffy slippers. I love my fluffy slippers. When I feel like I really want to cuddle up on the settee, I put on my fluffy slippers. And my wellies. Now, my wellies have become very important to me. I make sure I've got my wellies when I'm around and about, especially if I'm going to be visiting any of the local farms. When I go to see John on his farm, I make sure I've got my wellies to make sure that any water or mud and I'm protected. You know, walking is important, isn't it? And there's a story about walking, and I'm wondering, shall we think about what walking means and what shoes mean in this story? I wonder if you were to think about it, where you might use those kind of shoes. I suppose you could look around your house and think about the kind of shoes you have or your family. Because some shoes are used for special things, like the wellies are used when I know that I'm going to go in mud and water. But my sparkly shoes are saved especially for when I'm out somewhere special enjoying a night out. There's lots of sayings about feet and shoes. And I wondered if you might find out what some of these sayings mean. So let's have a look at some of those sayings, shall we? He's got too big for his boots. Wonder what that might mean. Now the shoe's on the other foot. I wonder what that means. She's as tough as old boots. Or what about, you know, they're going to be hard shoes to fill. Or what about, I wouldn't want to be in her shoes. As I say, maybe you could find out what some of those saying means. So, now we've been thinking a bit about shoes and feet, I want to bring you today's Bible story. And I want you to put your thinking caps on so that you can hear all the things that I'm going to mention. Today's story about walking is actually about two friends who went for a 7-mile walk. They were walking from Jerusalem to a place called Emmaus. They left Jerusalem and, you know, they were very, very sad. Some horrible things had happened to their friend Jesus. And it had ended with him being killed. And they just didn't know what to make of it. And so they were walking and they were talking about the strange things that had taken place. Their friend had died. And he'd been put in a big cave. Some women had seen their friend alive again. And all of these things were being spoken of on this dusty road. Stretching before them were their shadows. 2 long, straight shadows. Suddenly, though, a third shadow appeared. And the person asked, "What is it you're talking about?" And these two friends couldn't believe that anybody could possibly not know what has happened to their friend Jesus. So they began to tell him. Well, this third man decided to go ahead of them, and so he overtook them on the dirty, dusty, dry, hot path and went ahead to a small village, where the two friends found him again. And this time they decided that they would have a meal. And so together they had some bread. And you know, a strange thing happened. Those two friends suddenly realised that their third friend was indeed their friend. He was their friend Jesus. And they got so excited. And in all of their excitement, they hadn't realised Jesus had disappeared. Well, what were they to do? There was only one thing for it. And so they put their sandals on their feet and off they went back to their friends in Jerusalem to tell them all about Jesus, who had joined them on the road to Emmaus. The story reminds us of something really important. That actually, wherever we are and whatever we're doing, even though sometimes we may not know it, Jesus is right beside us, listening to our every word and walking with us so that we are never alone. So now we've heard the story of the walk to Emmaus, and we've been thinking a bit about shoes and walking. I thought we'd have a craft. So I've made a flip-flop sandal, something that we could decorate around our home. So I've started off by having a piece of card and drawing around one of my shoes. And then when you cut it out, you end up something like this. Now I've added 3 dots to my shoe. Look, 1, 2, 3. And those will need to be pierced, probably with the end of a pencil. You might need to ask someone to help you with that. So when you've got your holes and shoes ready, it's ready for you to decorate. And I've had great fun decorating with sticky petals and flowers and leaves. But you could do anything. Maybe if you support a special football team, you could use those colours too. And then I've taken some ribbon and I've just gone through those 3 holes. I knotted the back of the ribbon so that the ribbon couldn't pull through. And I used the words, "I follow Jesus," on the top of the flip-flop, so that I can hang it for others to see. I've made a loop and I just have sellotaped that around the back. Now I know how fantastically talented all of our young people are in our community. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these on our Facebook page or on our website, so that others can see how great your skills are and maybe remind them of the story of the road to Emmaus. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.